Hey guys, what's going on? It's Talk Forest TV back again with another Talk Forest news here. We are live, we are on StreamYard as well. Um, Sabris targeting two championship players with experience. Obviously, we are talking about it's Plan A, Plan B, Plan C. I've got a bit of youth team news as well in the show, especially with Forest signing Andres Santis and Cooney's could be doing two profile. We seem to be getting a really good bond with portfolio at the minute in terms of sending our youngsters there. Obviously, we sent Taylor there and he had a really good playing spell there last season. Cooney, he has gone down the week's trial just for portfolio to actually have a look at him. It looks promising and it could be that Cooney's could be going down loan, so it all good for the academy. Obviously, for signing Andres Sanchez from AEK, under 17 international. Obviously, Forest would have had their scouts looking at him, and they probably used Olympiacos scouts to actually get more of a in look. They would have had him on trial as well here. Just have a proper look at him. So it's all looking good for academy at the minute, especially with one youngster that is here and one that is thingy. But obviously, we are talking about as well with the Sabri targeting the two championship players with experience. Not Kim Hayes, Jacob Murphy and Tyler Blackett and now Taylor Front can Taylor has an experienced championship player now. He has had one season in championship. We have got the link in the chat, live chat for you if you want to come on and have your say. It does feel like that Forest does have a plan A, plan B, plan C this season, especially in this transfer window. Obviously, we have been looking at championship players. Sabi probably would have done his homework now this season in terms of championship and the sort of players that are in there and how they can actually improve Forest. And that even before the signed Jack Hobart, they did have was in talks with a championship player, but obviously they didn't go for him. So Jack Hobart came in. Obviously, we'll dread to think how much he's on, but it does feel like that Forest are having a plan A, plan B, plan C to every position where they want to finish. And play like Jacob Murphy, Tyler Brackett, Arthur, Dano, they are the plan B in their positions, or the plan C, or they actually was plan A to start with. Obviously, Forest need to strengthen that left side of defence, especially centre half and left back, especially with Dawson coming to the end of his career with Bond not being the greatest. Obviously, we really got Ribeiro there. Drop your comments in the comments bit, in the live chat bit. But obviously, Forest do have are looking at Tyler Blackett, which I do feel like it would be it'd probably be a decent signing in terms of like Sammy Amiri was. I mean, even when Sammy Amiri signed last year, I always thought it'd be a swap player, not a starter, and he proved me one and probably proved a lot of you one as well. So, Tyler Blackett coming in, it probably will strengthen that swap depth that we do need, and it probably will strengthen certain areas that we probably have lacked, especially in game management and all that. And it probably gives us a lot more to go on. Tyler Blackett, would it be if it was plan A and probably didn't get plan B, plan C, especially because of other factors? Tyler Blackett is could be, if he is on this way to Forest, then it will be a very decent signing. Jacob Murphy, especially. I mean, it depends on what sort of windows Tabby is looking at. Obviously, we all know Jacob Murphy is quite a strong window. He knows the championship and he is a tricky window. So, obviously, if he was high on Forest list, especially with Plan A, then it'd be a cracking Plan A. But then we imagine that Forest will be in talks with certain other Plan B and Plan C just in case of Jacob Murphy do decide to go back to Sheffield Wednesday, or if we just go to another championship club where he feel like get more chance. But I wouldn't he join Forest because, especially with how things are going, I mean, we've just missed out on the playoffs, unfortunately, and I mean, we are going places, so it would be quite a thingy that we wouldn't. And even with Lyle Taylor, I mean, apparently we've been talking to him since July the 12th. I mean, from Man Nixon, yeah, fair enough. He probably had other offers and like from like up north, and they probably got other strikers in, and that was all actually in for him from Sky Sports. So where would this one go? Would it was it plan A? What's the plan B? Could we get plan A in? So is that a plan B? Would Sabri change his tactics and formation? Who knows? But it does feel like, especially at the minute, that Forest do have a lot more transfer structure than we did do in January. Because yeah, fair enough, if we did go place in January, clubs rejected. At least we're not going to like just picking up next best thing like Diabati and Bond. So it's one of them ones where I do feel like that Forest probably have planned it a lot more better in terms of transfer targets, and where they actually do need to strengthen. Where probably that left-sided centre back, or who can play left back, so someone that can play on the wings and actually be a lot more different to what a Joe Lolly is or something else. So it does feel like that Forest are doing a lot more different things this summer. I mean, their staff, the recruitment team would have had a year now just to examine everything. At the start looking at all the players and all that, and actually they would have. I imagine that there'll be a lot more familiar with things. So I think hopefully it will open their hands, because obviously January was just diabolical with in terms of what they did. But I imagine that now they learned from them mistakes that they did make, they would have got in the place that um, they probably was after in January. I feel like, yeah, they've done well in this, and this. Now they probably can evolve Forest a lot more in different ways that they can. So probably looking at Luke Freeman as well, thinking, yeah, probably is more available now, and it feels like that he could be that sort of player who can take us to that next level from where we was at today. I mean, they did buy a lot of international players this summer as well. I mean, all of them done well. It's only Sam South, yeah, he's the best player, but fitness wise and how he don't really last games, that is a concern. So for Forest to actually probably get that sort of player in who can last 3 games for 90 minutes, especially in this league, it'd be a lot more better. I mean, I'm going to touch on Jed Wallace as well, because that one has gone a bit quiet since we broke it. I've had Millwall Fan TV messaging me saying that for a while it's saying this and that they're not actually, we're not actually in for him, and that my contact is saying that you're going to find out over the weekend if we're also in for him. That, but I imagine that Jed Wallace will always be plan A, and that Jacob Murphy, if he is on our list, then would he be plan B? Would he be plan C? But it just feels like a lot more now that things are a lot more structured and a lot more. Yeah, the trial and tested this didn't work. Now they're getting a lot more name-based players that knows the lead, that knows the pace and all that lot. So, and it's kind of, I do hope as well, especially that we are looking at players that people players that probably want to leave because they feel like they're not going to improve at the club, like Lyle Taylor. I mean, there's probably a couple of League One players that at the peak of the game, and they probably want to make that step up to Championship now. Like Dicky Hughes, he's attracting a lot of funny, and I do feel like if we do get him in, like Tyler Blackett, then I do feel like that'd be a very good transfer window in terms of strengthening that defence. I mean, it depending especially on if we can get rid of like Hef and Ben Yune actually that. But then it's depending on if they do go, can we actually bring in better players that are better than them, and that probably got a couple more years in there. I mean, Hef came back from a serious injury, Ben Yune did, and they probably wouldn't be able to offer like 90 minutes week in, week out, where players like Ty Blackett and Rob Dickey can actually give us a lot more in the long run. So, drop your comments in the live chat as per usual, but that hour I do feel like where Forest can actually strengthen, especially this year. And I think always build a base on a good defence and actually, and good back five, back six, especially with Forest, if we can't, that holding ball as a defensive part, then actually start to build what needs to be done up top. So, but I do feel like that things are starting to gather at pace now, with probably with transfers, with how Forest are doing things. So I do hope that we don't have a summer where we just sign Jack Cole back, because that will probably punish us a lot more as well, where we do need signings in certain areas. We do need to let go of probably 3 or 4 players just to free up wages to get other players in. So it's that sort of mindset where we do need to strengthen, but I hope that we don't actually ruin this chance of actually strengthening. We've got 79p1. Hope you will hold one. Obviously to give us the 79 finner, so big thumbs up for that. Obviously we have got the super chat on, so it will go towards getting the next package of the super chat. But I do hope that Forest don't kind of ruin this chance of this summer window, and actually Forest do actually start to push on in terms of transfers and actually building a better squad. I mean, Sabri probably, if he does get rid of Carvalho, he does get rid of Carvalho. Apparently, it's had 2 stints and that, so it's one of them ones where I do feel like that Forest really needs to up the ante on it and actually start to finish. So, but yeah, hopefully we do start to see a lot more different terms. But in going off plan A, plan B, plan C, it probably does look like that is in place for this summer. If we don't get our top targets, that Forest do have that plan B, plan C in place, so they do actually make moves of it. And that actually, yeah, with Forest, we actually know that we have got other plans. We have told agents that we are interested in them, and that things are quite good. So I think it will be a positive summer in terms of Forest, and hopefully that we can actually start to push on and actually show that the recruitment team have learnt from January and actually not gonna ruin it for Forest. So I'd like to thank you for watching.